Well, we have a trial date for Donna Adelson. Donna Adelson's trial is going to begin September 30th, 2024. And there's a status conference set for July 22nd at 1:30. So it is possible during that status conference that the date will get moved. But as it stands now, and it seems that the defense wants the trial to go as soon as possible, that this date, September 30th, 2024, is going to be the day that Donna Adelson stands trial. That's when the jury selection is going to begin. And during this conference today, or yesterday, there was questions about a plea deal, and essentially there's going to be no plea deal in this case. So this case is going to trial, and the trial, as it stands now, is going to begin September 30th, 2024. Now, that is extremely ironic. It is very, very ironic that Donna Adelson's trial is going to begin September 30th, 2024. Now, you may be wondering why. Why is that so ironic? I didn't hear from any other channel that it's so ironic. Well, that's something extra, something bonus that you get in this trial, in this channel, because we don't just bring you legal analysis, we also bring some other things to your attention. The reason why this is so ironic is that, just stay with me for 1 minute. How long was the jury selection process in Charlie Adelson's trial? The jury selection process in Charlie Adelson's trial was about 3 days. It's 3 days that it took them to pick a jury, which means it's likely, reasonable to believe, that the same 3 days is going to take to pick a jury for Donna Adelson. Right? It takes a long time to get a jury in these type of high-profile cases. So it's likely that the actual trial for opening statements and evidence, testimony, is not really going to begin until 3 days later. So let's count. So you got September 30th is when jury selection is going to begin. So you got September 30th. And by the way, what's interesting is that Judge Everett actually first said maybe we'll do jury selection a little bit earlier, and then for some reason he said, no, let's just do it September 30th and not any day earlier. And you'll see why it's so ironic. September 30th. So let's assume there's going to be 3 days of jury selection. September 30th, October 1st, October 2nd, which means that the actual trial, when evidence is going to be presented after opening statements, is going to begin October 3rd. And I think that that's a reasonable assumption. Now, one more thing. Keep following me, and then you're going to see why this is so ironic. How long did it take for the presentation of evidence and testimony in Charlie Adelson's trial? It took 8 days. Okay, so 8 days is how long it takes. Now, obviously, court is not in session on Saturday and Sunday. So you have to add really 2 days to get the complete, it's about 10 days. All right, so we can also reasonably assume that it's also going to take 10 days to present all the evidence in Donna Adelson's trial, and that's when the jury will get the case and they'll be charged with coming back with a verdict. Now, here's why it's so ironic. There is a day in the Jewish calendar which many Jewish people, religious people, celebrate. It's called the Day of Judgment. Well, I wonder when the Day of Judgment is this year. Would you be shocked? Would you be surprised to learn that the Day of Judgment in the Jewish calendar is October 3rd? October 3rd and October 4th. The same exact day, most likely, very reasonably, that Donna Adelson is going to be beginning her day of judgment down here in this world, in the American courts. Well, the Jewish people have a tradition, the religious people certainly believe that also this year, October 3rd and October 4th, is the Day of Judgment when God is going to be sitting and judging all of mankind, including each individual person, for everything that they've done, and deciding what's going to be their fate for the rest of the year. Are they going to live throughout this next year? Are they going to have any hardships? Are there going to be any consequences that God has to impose? That's what the Jewish people believe. So that same exact Day of Judgment that Donna Adelson is going to be beginning having evidence being presented in her case is the same day when God is going to be taking evidence in her case. Now, it gets even a little bit better. There's also another day. There's another day in the Jewish calendar, which is what we call the Day of Atonement. And it's a day also when essentially what And again, I'm not trying to turn this into a religious channel. I just want to point out the irony here, so you have to understand some of the Jewish traditions in order to appreciate the irony here. But don't think I'm turning this into a religious channel. I'm not. This is devoted to legal analysis, but this irony is just crazy. We have a tradition, the Jewish people have a tradition, that the day of judgment is the day when God writes, he writes down what our judgment is going to be. But he still gives us some time to repent and change, and he can change it. He can change our judgment. He gives us till the Day of Atonement to reflect and repent. Now, when do you think the Day of Atonement is? How much time do you think he gives us? Well, would it surprise you that he gives us 10 days from the beginning? So from the Day of Judgment, we have 10 days to repent and possibly change what our judgment can be until the Day of Atonement. Well, let's think about this. If it takes 8 days for Donna Adelson's trial to finish, and it's starting on the Day of Judgment, and you have to deduct 2 days for Saturday and Sunday, that means that the same day, most likely, or very possibly, that she's going to be getting her verdict, her signed and sealed verdict from the jury, will be the same day that God is going to be signing and sealing all of what the Jewish people believes is our judgments as well. Because we have tradition that God writes it on the Day of Judgment, but he seals it on the Day of Atonement. And if you don't repent, then he's going to seal whatever he decided to write for your judgment on the Day of Judgment. So, don't you think it's ironic that most likely Donna Adelson's trial is going to begin on the Day of Judgment and conclude on the Day of Atonement, when the Jewish people, the religious people, the practicing Jewish people, not Donna Adelson. Donna Adelson is, by all accounts, as we know right now, unless she completely has a change of heart now, is a Jewish atheist, so she doesn't believe in all this. But it's mighty, mighty ironic. So that is just what I wanted to point out to all of my beloved subscribers and viewers. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, like this video. We're going to be analyzing the Donna Adelson trial. Of course, not during those days, which I am not going to be able to, not the Day of Judgment and the Day of Atonement, which I'm going to be a pumpkin. But don't worry, we're going to be giving you enough analysis on all the Donna Adelson news and trial updates as they come in. So keep tuning in, and that will be it for this time. See you next time.